Hello everyone, it's such a pleasure to be standing here today, speaking to you about something that goes beyond love stories and into the real power of self, worth, presence, and emotional intelligence. Our title may sound like a romance novel, but trust me, it's about much more than just getting the guy. How to control his mind and heart. Let's be clear, this isn't about manipulation. This is about magnetic influence, the kind that comes from authenticity, from owning your story, from knowing who you are. You see, control doesn't come from chasing someone. It comes from becoming someone worth chasing. I've learned from Bollywood to Hollywood, from pageants to boardrooms, from heartbreaks to healing, that the most powerful force in any room is a woman who knows her value. When you walk in like you own your space, not because you're arrogant, but because you know what you bring to the table. That's when minds turn, that's when hearts listen. So, how do you control his mind with intellect, presence, and mystery? Stimulate his thoughts, not just his desires. Speak with intention, listen with purpose. Be curious about the world, challenge him, surprise him. Let your silence sometimes speak louder than your words. Don't give everything away in the first chapter, make him crave the next one. And how do you control his heart? With compassion, connection, and unapologetic love for yourself first. Love yourself so fiercely that it teaches him how to love you. Be kind, but have boundaries. Be warm, but not a doormat. Be romantic, but not dependent. A woman who can be vulnerable without losing herself, she owns the heart of anyone lucky enough to meet her. Let me tell you something. I've seen women dim their light just to make someone else shine. Don't do that. You don't need to shrink. You need to rise. When you shine in your truth, in your purpose, you don't need to control anyone. They are drawn to you. Remember, it's not about playing games. It's about playing your role fully, fearlessly, and fabulously. So if you want to control his mind and heart, start by mastering your own. Know your worth, speak your truth, protect your peace. And never settle for anything less than a love that recognizes your power and respects your soul, because you're the whole package, mind, body, heart, and soul. True influence doesn't come from controlling others, it begins within. The most powerful and magnetic people aren't those who chase attention or validation. They're the ones who walk into a room fully grounded in who they are, without needing to explain or prove themselves. That's the kind of presence that turns heads and captures minds. When a person, especially a woman, knows her value and owns it without apology, the world notices. There's a quiet strength in knowing you are enough. It's not about arrogance or ego. It's about a deep, unshakable confidence rooted in self-awareness. You don't need to fit into anyone's expectations or shrink yourself to make others comfortable. You radiate power just by standing tall in your truth. That authenticity draws people in. It commands respect, and yes, it makes people listen not because you ask them to, but because they feel your energy. So many times we're taught to seek external validation. We're told our worth comes from how we look, who accepts us, or how much approval we can gather. But the truth is, real validation comes from the inside. When you know who you are and what you bring to the table, you stop begging for a seat at it. You build your own table and suddenly, others want to sit with you. Owning your value also means not settling for less, not in love, not in work, not in life. When you truly understand your worth, you raise your standards. You stop tolerating relationships that drain you or environments that dim your light. You learn that it's okay to walk away from anything that doesn't align with the powerful, passionate, purposeful person you're becoming. There's something incredibly attractive about a person who doesn't chase, who simply shows up, fully in their skin, radiating self-assurance. That's when control becomes unnecessary, influence becomes effortless. Minds and hearts naturally gravitate toward what feels real, secure, and inspiring. People might not remember everything you say or do, but they will always remember how you made them feel. And someone who is sure of themselves, who carries grace with grit, leaves an unforgettable impression. So if you want to have an impact on someone else's mind or heart, don't start by changing them. Start by owning who you are. That's where the real power lies. That's the kind of energy no one can ignore. To truly connect with someone's mind, you need to offer more than charm or beauty. You need substance. Real influence isn't about being loud or dramatic. It's about being someone who makes others think, feel, and reflect. The mind responds to stimulation, to curiosity, to challenge. If you want someone to remember you, to feel captivated by your presence, You have to go deeper than surface-level attraction. Engaging someone's mind means bringing something unique to the table. It means being curious about the world, having opinions, asking thoughtful questions, and listening with intent. It's about sharing ideas and perspectives that make someone pause and reconsider. People are drawn to those who ignite their imagination, who challenge their thinking, and who open doors to new possibilities. When you're informed, articulate, and passionate about something, it shows. That passion can be more compelling than any physical trait. What's even more powerful is the ability to listen with presence. In a world full of distractions, someone who really listens stands out. When you listen not just to respond, but to truly understand, you create a space where minds feel safe and valued. That kind of presence is rare and irresistible. It tells the other person that you see them not as an object of desire, but as a complex individual with thoughts and experiences worth knowing. You don't have to know everything to be mentally engaging. In fact, curiosity can be even more attractive than knowledge. Asking questions, showing a genuine desire to learn, and being open to new ideas keeps a connection alive. People don't want perfection. They want authenticity. They want someone who isn't afraid to say, "I don't know, but I'd love to learn." Mystery also plays a role here. Don't reveal everything at once. Let your story unfold slowly. Leave space for intrigue, for discovery. Minds are naturally drawn to what they can't fully grasp right away. Holding back just enough while staying genuine creates a balance that keeps someone thinking about you long after the conversation ends. In the end, controlling someone's mind isn't about manipulation. It's about inspiration. It's about being someone who adds value, who makes others feel seen, and who leaves a lasting impression because of your depth, not your drama. When you stimulate someone's mind, you give them something to remember, and that's the kind of influence that lasts. In a world where oversharing has become the norm, mystery is a powerful and rare quality. There's something undeniably magnetic about a person who doesn't reveal everything at once, who allows others to discover them slowly. It's not about playing games or being distant. It's about understanding the power of pacing, the art of withholding just enough to keep curiosity alive. When you leave space for imagination, you invite interest. You give people a reason to keep showing up, to keep wanting to know more. Revealing yourself gradually allows a relationship, whether romantic or otherwise, to unfold naturally. It builds intrigue, and more importantly, it builds trust. When someone doesn't immediately know everything about you, it creates a sense of discovery that deepens connection over time. Think about it. We value what we explore, what we work for, and what we feel drawn toward. If you give everything away too soon, there's nothing left to unravel, and minds lose interest when there's no journey. Mystery doesn't mean being closed off or fake. It means being selective. It means choosing what parts of your life and heart you share, and with whom. This kind of restraint isn't weakness. It's control. It's knowing that your story is valuable, and not everyone earns the right to read every chapter. When you hold back a little, you create space for curiosity. That curiosity becomes the thread that pulls people toward you, not because they're being tricked, but because they're genuinely intrigued. There's also great strength in silence. Sometimes what you don't say speaks louder than what you do. When you're comfortable sitting in silence, when you don't feel the need to fill every moment with words, it shows security. It shows that you're not trying to impress, but simply allowing your energy and presence to speak for you. And people feel that, they sense that confidence, they notice the calm, and it draws them in. The most unforgettable individuals aren't the ones who shouted the loudest, they're the ones who knew how to keep something for themselves. Their mystery wasn't emptiness, it was depth. It was the sense that there was more to discover, more beneath the surface, something real and valuable that couldn't be accessed casually. So if you want to hold someone's attention, don't rush to reveal all of who you are. Let them earn it, let them explore, be open, but don't be exposed. Your mystery is not a wall, it's a path, and the right person will be drawn to walk it. Loving yourself isn't just a cliche, it's the foundation of how others will treat you. When you genuinely love and respect yourself, you send a clear message to the world about how you expect to be treated. That energy sets the tone for your relationships. If you want to touch someone's heart deeply and meaningfully, you have to start by nurturing your own. People are naturally drawn to those who are grounded, emotionally balanced, and radiate a sense of inner peace. Love isn't about being selfish or putting yourself above others. It's about recognizing your own needs, honoring your feelings, and refusing to sacrifice your well-being for the sake of being accepted or loved. Too often, people give and give until they have nothing left for themselves, thinking that being selfless will win someone's affection. But the truth is, when you lose yourself in the process of loving someone else, the relationship becomes unbalanced and unsustainable. Setting boundaries is a key part of this. Boundaries don't push people away. They protect your peace and create space for healthy connection. When you say no to what doesn't serve you, you say yes to your dignity, and when you're clear about your limits, it shows that you respect yourself. And that makes others respect you too. Boundaries aren't walls, they're filters. They help you let the right people in and keep the wrong energy out. Compassion is powerful, but it must be rooted in strength. Being kind doesn't mean being passive. Being open-hearted doesn't mean being naive. You can be nurturing and empathetic without losing your voice. In fact, that combination of softness and strength is what makes people feel safe around you. It's what makes your love feel real, not like something you're giving to earn approval, but something you're offering from a place of abundance. When you love yourself deeply, you raise your standards. You stop accepting half-hearted effort or inconsistent love. You stop begging for attention because you already give it to yourself. That inner security becomes your compass, guiding you toward relationships that reflect your value instead of draining it. Controlling someone's heart isn't about grand gestures or constant pursuit. It's about embodying a kind of love that is honest, balanced, and whole. When you're full within yourself, your love becomes a gift, not a transaction. And the right person will feel that. They'll be moved not just by your affection, but by the powerful, peaceful force of someone who knows how to love without losing themselves. There's a quiet tragedy in watching someone dim their light just to make others feel more comfortable. It happens more often than we admit, people shrinking themselves to avoid standing out, downplaying their achievements, silencing their opinions, or softening their brilliance for fear of being too much. But the truth is, you were never meant to blend in. You were meant to rise, to shine, to take up space without apology. And the moment you stop trying to fit into molds that were never designed for you, you begin to discover your real power. Standing out isn't about being loud or seeking attention. It's about embracing what makes you different and being brave enough to show up as your full self, even if that makes others uncomfortable. The world doesn't need more people who follow the rules just to be accepted. It needs more people who are bold enough to break them when they limit growth, creativity, or truth. Owning your uniqueness is not arrogance. It's authenticity. Too often, people water themselves down in relationships, romantic or otherwise, hoping that by being more agreeable they'll be more loved. But that never works in the long run. The more you compromise who you are to keep someone else, the more invisible you become. And eventually, even the people you're trying to please stop seeing you clearly. Real connection comes from being real, not perfect, not palatable, but real. That's where true respect and attraction are born. Rising to stand out means refusing to settle for less than what aligns with your worth. It means speaking up when silence is more convenient. It means making choices based on your values, not just on what's popular or safe. And yes, it may make some people uncomfortable, but those people were never your tribe to begin with. The ones meant for you will rise with you, not resist you. There is power in choosing yourself, in wearing your confidence without shame, in walking into a room and not needing validation because your presence already speaks volumes. When you own your light, your quirks, your voice, your edge, you don't have to chase anything. Opportunities, relationships, and respect naturally find their way to you because people are drawn to what feels fearless and true. So don't apologize for shining. Don't quiet your passion or edit your magic. Let yourself rise. You weren't meant to play small. The world needs your light, unfiltered, untamed, and unapologetically you. Before you can ever influence someone else, whether their mind, their heart, or their life, you must first take control of your own. Mastering yourself is the foundation of all meaningful connection and lasting influence. It means understanding your emotions, your triggers, your desires, and your purpose. It means learning to respond rather than react, to stay grounded even when life tests your limits. People who are in control of themselves radiate a calm, steady energy that others instinctively trust and are drawn to. Self-mastery doesn't happen overnight. It's a lifelong process that requires awareness, honesty, and discipline. It starts with recognizing your patterns, what drives you, what holds you back, what you fear, and what you crave. When you understand those patterns, you can begin to reshape them. You start making choices from a place of clarity, not chaos. You stop allowing outside circumstances or other people's opinions to dictate how you feel or who you become. That is real power. There's something deeply attractive about someone who knows who they are and stays true to that regardless of who's watching. They don't seek constant approval. They don't chase validation. They walk with purpose, not performance. And that kind of presence doesn't just capture attention. It earns respect. When you have control over your own mind, you stop falling for manipulation. When you have control over your own heart, you stop settling for less than you deserve. Peace becomes your priority. You stop allowing drama or insecurity to pull you into emotional chaos. You know how to center yourself, how to find stillness even in the storm. That emotional stability is magnetic, especially in a world where so many people are constantly reacting, performing, or pretending. When you're grounded, others feel safe around you. They sense that you aren't moved by every shift in mood or moment. You become an anchor not just for yourself, but for others too. Mastering yourself also means honoring your values. You live with integrity, you act with intention, and you hold yourself accountable. You're not perfect, but you are conscious, and that consciousness is what allows you to build real, meaningful connections that aren't based on control, but on mutual respect and alignment. If you want to lead, love, or influence someone else, start with yourself. Become the kind of person whose presence speaks volumes without saying a word. That's where the deepest power lies, not in changing others, but in mastering your own mind, your own heart, and your own energy. That's what makes you unforgettable. Thank you.